James Franklin compared to Josh Heupel, Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt, and Derek Dooley. And I'm going to throw Lane Kiffin in there as well. Where would he fall if you rank those 5 coaches?
Third. Josh Heupel and Lane Kiffin are better than him. He's better than Butch Jones and Derek Dooley. I mean, it's yeah, that's pretty obvious for me. But Butch Jones is bowl bound, guys.
He is. And somebody accused me of clickbait for making fun of him wearing the bowl bound shirt. Let me clarify that if that person happens to be watching again. I know that they give out shirts to all of the bowl bound participants in like the MAC and the smaller conferences. Don't wear it. Say
Yeah,
no, I'm good. Don't wear it. Don't
you
be
don't
proud
wear it
of
as the
going to
coach yourself.
no, don't be proud of going to a bowl and don't let your players wear it either. Don't be proud of going to a bowl when the school you took over did so 8 of the last 10 years. Don't wear it. Say, I am good. You can keep your generic bowl shirt that you're trying to sell online somewhere because that's the only reason you would produce it. I don't even know that it had Arkansas State's name on it. Don't wear it. Say, I'm good. They come to you on the field after, they say, hey, coach, can you throw this shirt on? No, go straight to you know where. I'm not wearing it. I should make a bowl game. Portions of the program brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Design. We want to be your jeweler looking for affordable game day jewelry. How about the Fire Opals, a Tennessee tradition? RickTerryJewelry.com. RickTerryJewelry.com. Am I wrong, Caleb, to say, I mean, at a school that's been there 8 of 10, I wouldn't wear that shirt publicly?
No, you're not wrong. First of all, even if you won the I don't care what accomplishments you get. Like until you win the national title, I don't think you wear shirts like that as a coach. Like, did Fulmer wear an SEC East champion when Tennessee finished 11-0 and beat Vanderbilt? No.
You know what's funny is that was a big debate at the time. Are you a champion? Like in 2001, should they get championship rings for winning the SEC East? And I'm with you, absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Fulmer did believe that, and then he changed his tune later. Like when he after he retired, he's like, winning the SEC East is the equivalent of winning the SEC title from back in the day. I remember him saying that, and I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not the equivalent of winning what winning the SEC title was. But yeah, I mean, I think that you set your expectations, and you're right. If players and fans want to celebrate something, fine. But you as a coach, your job is to deliver the results, not sell the results. And I think that I mean I understand there's a little bit of selling going on for recruiting, but look, let's be honest. Is Butch Jones selling this for recruiting, or is he selling this for himself? He's selling it for himself to try to pretend that he's done something amazing here. And
Yeah.
it's
I mean, I think the let's look at bowl trips for what they really are. If they're going someplace cool like Miami for the Orange Bowl, and I can tell you firsthand that the Orange Bowl provides all kinds of gifts for the players and all kinds of events that they can go to. Well, that's cool. But no kid grows up and signs his scholarship papers or is 10 years old and thinking about college football playoff and said, you know, boy, I hope everything works out in my career and one day I get to go to that Liberty Bowl. That would be awesome. I mean, nobody says that, do
nobody
they?
says that. Nobody. Uh,
Liberty
but you,
Bowl is awful.
By the way, kudos to speaking of the Liberty Bowl. Fred Smith just donated $50 million to finally do upgrades necessary for the Liberty Bowl. The city of Memphis was debating over whether or not they should invest in the FedEx Forum or Liberty Bowl, and I'm like, do FedEx Forum. You got to protect your pro franchise, but Fred Smith is helping to make up the budget gap.
I
So,
would
but
prefer they not fix it because I don't want the Liberty Bowl to be viewed as any nicer. Because when we start going to bowl games, which maybe this year, I don't want the Liberty Bowl to be in the mix. I'm sorry. I know it's
well,
your hometown. I know it's your hometown, and I love the ribs and I love the fried catfish. But 48 hours of the Liberty Bowl was Liberty Bowl coverage is about all I can take.
well, no, Liberty Bowl is never going to get to that level. I thought Memphis should have torn down that, and the university is about to own the stadium. I thought they should have had a smaller on-campus venue anyway.
But could it
Um,
surpass the Music City Bowl?
I think it's already better. It's already more high profile. Well, no, I think it fell behind. It could take back from the Music City Bowl. It could. And remember, the Liberty Bowl was actually one of the more it's one of the older bowls. It's one of the more elite bowls. The only reason that stadium is still in existence is because the city wanted to protect the Liberty Bowl every year, as opposed to just letting the school build an on-campus venue. And it's like, why are you putting so much into saving this bowl game that has devalued so much over the course of 25, 30 years? I mean, Bear Bryant. This isn't the same Liberty Bowl where Bear Bryant coached his last game, and
No.
so it's yeah, I totally agree.
No, it is not.
Uh,
Portions of the program brought to you by our friends at the Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety, great selection, and strict standards to ensure that you only receive the best in CBD or Delta products. Hemp House Chat with two T's, Hemp House Chat with two T's.com. You can order from anywhere. Use the promo code HOOKED to get 10% off. Promo code HOOKED to get 10% off. Also, I want to be sure and mention it is close to Christmas time, so we got our Black Friday sale out already, and it's on the Celebrate 98 book. So you got a lot of options. We've still got the autographed hardcover and soft cover by Fred White. We also, if you want to buy Christmas presents for your significant others, and I know you have a lot of Tennessee fans in your family, we've got a 6-pack soft cover that you can purchase at a substantial discount. Same thing for the hardcover, so we can take care of you there as well. So you can get Celebrate 98, the untold stories behind the Tennessee Vols 1998 National Championship for as cheap as $18.99. Or if you want to go several presents, you can get about a 50% off value on the soft cover books, and they make great stocking stuffers. And we've got the hardcover as well. So certainly check that out. We'd greatly appreciate that. You just go to offthehooksports.com and there's a Celebrate 98 series there, or you can just go right down below. Support our sponsors and our book sales. We greatly appreciate that. So, all right, coming up, we're going to have week 13 picks because we're going to be off stuffed on Friday and not talking about the Peter principle. So we'll save that for
Wait,
another
I'm
time.
sorry. I just have to show Travis's just.
Now, okay, can we do? Okay, that's pretty good. Now do Butch's Peter principle. Okay, Butch, please. Can we do this? I got a question. Can we do this? Can we pull up the picture I sent you about Teddy Valentine?
Oh
Can
yeah,
we
sure.
pull that up for just a second? TV Teddy is his nickname, and I'm surprised you haven't heard about him being such a
He
college
looks so
basketball guy.
mischievous in this picture. Like he's just up to like taking somebody's like great moment away from them. It's like I'm about to
Okay,
ruin
so
someone's NCAA tournament.
I'm gonna pull this up here.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. There's Teddy Valentine. We've all seen him. We all know he likes to give the hard tech sign because he's mad and he's angry because being an official is difficult, I guess. But uh, Caleb, officiating in the NCAA, especially basketball, is an issue. Um, Teddy Valentine will make some bad calls this year. He'll make several, and he'll want to be the center of attention. You've said before that you think that college football officials should be full time. I could go either way. I think you can do a great job without being full time. The problem I have is that too many college basketball officials and NBA officials, which you and I both like the NBA more than probably a lot of our audience, like to be the center of attention. That's my problem. I think Teddy Valentine likes being the center of attention. You should not want to be noticed whatsoever. Smoky Mountain Red saying he is all for show and not a ref. I agree. He thinks he's part of the circus coming to town. He thinks he's either the elephant walking around or he's the clown or whatever he is, but he thinks he's part of the show, and that to me is very disturbing.
You know what's part of it? I never thought about this, but what do you think? Yes, NBA refs just have an ego. They just have a Joey Crawford. Remember when he ejected Tim Duncan for just laughing on the sideline? Like Joey Crawford is the most egotistical, egomaniacal official in any sport possible. The NBA ref. And do you think there's a whole maybe they're trying to get noticed because they're trying to get hired by the NBA because they are part-time in college and something like that? I never thought about this for refs, but think about it this way. How many college football programs or NFL programs, Dave, have you covered? And I know you have, where an offensive coordinator did not make the obvious call, but tried to get creative because they wanted to try to get noticed for a head coaching job. That happens all the time, doesn't it? Where offensive
Yes.
coordinators go out
I
of their way to
think
get
it
creative.
happens at every Butch Jones press conference.
You
I think
think
he's
and
always looking for the next job. I think that's why he wore that shirt. I think that yes, I think he's one of those that tries to manipulate the situation into being better for him than he is for the situation. Does that make sense? So,
makes
like,
perfect sense.
yeah, if he uses Tennessee's a bad example because that's a destination job, but if he uses Arkansas State as a stepping stone, that to him is a success more than he leads Arkansas State to unprecedented heights. By the way, Smoky Mountain Red said that Teddy Valentine's the Gary Danielson of refs. Between the three, I'm just curious. And anybody else that's out there, as a Tennessee fan, who should you hate most? Who should you dislike most? Is it Teddy Valentine? Is it Butch Jones? Is it Gary Danielson? Or anybody else that wants to be
I think the
thrown up
hatred of
there?
of Gary Danielson comes from this drives me crazy. People think Gary Danielson is an Alabama homer. He's been covering Alabama while they've had their dynasty. What's he supposed to say? No, this isn't a good team. I mean, ever since he's been calling SEC games, Alabama's won 7 national titles. I mean, Dave, what are you supposed to say on that? There's no. I think sometimes we think that there's bias to great teams for being great. No, they're just great, and the bias follows them. I mean, there wasn't a Michael Jordan love fest that people say there used to be in the 90s. No, Michael Jordan was just that dominant when he played. There wasn't a bias to Michael Jordan. He was just the best player in the NBA and won 6 rings in 8 years. I mean, it's the same with Alabama. And people can't when it's college football and the rivalries are so passionate, people can't stand that. And
Okay.
honestly,
I'm not going to play the game the way it's originally designed. I'm going to change it a little bit. But there's this game, and you have three options. And maybe you've heard about it before when you talk about three different people. So Gary Danielson are in this, and Teddy Valentine is in this, and then Butch Jones is in this. So dinner, marry, kill. You have to choose. It's not the traditional. It's just dinner. Okay. All right. I'm not in your Tinder world in your age group. So it's just dinner. It's not like the traditional game. Dinner, marry, kill. I would go dinner with Gary Danielson because I would go dinner with Butch Jones if he has to be honest and answer questions. And I would go. I guess I would go marry um, Gary Danielson because I like
I'd
talking
marry
football.
Gary Danielson, do dinner with Teddy Valentine, and I have
Let's
to
not
be
even.
honest with you. I have to be honest with you. I would absolutely I would, yeah, I don't want to say the phrase because
No,
Butch
don't
Jones would be the
say it.
type to,
Don't say
yeah,
it.
Butch Jones would actually be the type to sue me on this and be like, because he's so thin skinned. But I know Josh feels a way about Derek Dooley, and I think you do too because I think he was so pompous. But Dave, I have such disdain for Butch Jones. I mean, I have ultra disdain more than any other coach. One, because I think he's just so incredibly stupid. But more than that, I think it's because he's so thin skinned. It's just the level of thin skinned and the level of lying he did to the media. Just I took it on a personal level that like when I was covering Tennessee at the time that I just despise him so much.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Customer service still matters. State Farm agent Don Self and his team take customer service seriously. For well over 40 years, they have built their business and reputation on taking care of their customers in Collegedale, Noodlewa, as well as the greater Chattanooga area. Don and his team pride themselves on making sure you and your family won't have any surprises at the time of the claim. Customer service still matters. Don Self, your friendly neighborhood State Farm agent for the greater Chattanooga area. Anybody else? I mean, surely there should be somebody else on this list. What about if we just did the coaches, where you had a dinner, marry, kill, and you got Dooley, Pruitt, Butch?
Okay,
My,
that's
my
actually easier.
yeah, my dinner would be Pruitt because the one time I talked to him, I was like, he really knows ball at a high level, and I was pretty impressed. He was one of the first that ever brought up the concept of edge rusher. He was like, I don't care if you have your hand on the ground or not. Just bring pressure. Do what you need to do. I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. Why does the defensive end on a passing down need his hand on the ground? He doesn't. Um, so I guess I'd marry Jeremy Pruitt. I guess I'd have dinner again with Butch Jones because it has to be an honest dinner and he has to answer my questions. And then we'll just let Derek Dooley do what he needs to do.
I think you have the Josh factor. I think because and you and I covered Tennessee at different times. Dave, do you take disdain over the way how pompous and arrogant Derek Dooley was in media? Does that kind of annoy you a little bit with the way he was?
Nah, because I was pretty pompous and arrogant at the time too.
Yeah, but you were good at your job. You actually do.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
so no, I
No,
mean, is it like that for me? It's like I would do a dinner with Derek Dooley because he is smart, and I could listen to some lectures for him for like 30 minutes, whatever. I would marry Jeremy Pruitt because I don't think Jeremy Pruitt is arrogant, and I'd still, yeah, I would just
yeah.
what you said about Butch Jones, I would do because I just cannot stand him, and he's such a liar.
Elias says it, ladies and gentlemen. Off the Hook Sports.